looking forward, because so much has changed in the last even 5 years with technology. We talked a little bit about at the beginning of the conversation as well, but looking forward, what technology trends do you see for emerging technologies that could be used in the classroom? I know that, Perla, you talked about answers that are not Googleable, and I've seen artificial intelligence start to be used in the classroom. People are starting to use virtual reality a little more, 360 tours, those are a little bit, those have been out for a little while, but what are things that you see as far as emerging technologies that could be used in the classroom that you are excited about?
Go ahead, Sandra, go ahead.
Okay. I'm really sad that the Horizon report hasn't been coming out as much lately, because they always would post out what were the latest trends in K-12 as well as higher education. But I think for me, the VR and AR is definitely something that is growing in use in classrooms. I just attended a conference with Apple Distinguished Educators, and AR was a big theme there, and just using Keynote and an app called AR Maker. They were implementing a lot of storytelling where students can immerse themselves into a world that they create. And then even in just everyday life, we see where, you can go to use an IKEA app and place furniture into your room so that you can see whether or not this is how you want to do it. And so I can similarly see in the classroom, learning spaces is something that teachers are looking at a lot at, and yet buying furniture is extremely expensive. How great to look at the furniture in real life before actually purchasing the furniture. So there's a lot of great uses in AR and VR in storytelling, as well as just in applications like we do normally. The other piece I think is really important is understanding how the Internet of Things are going to kind of just build into our everyday life, and how that's going to affect things like wearable technology, or just even the Google Home in your classroom, where things that we're used to having to research for a long period of time, you actually don't need to, much like Iron Man, it's just going to be at their fingertips. So then how are we going to change our thinking around, well, if Iron Man can access data like that, what was his focus? Well, it was very much on the creation and building and design. And so using the technology as background information so that you can focus on that creation piece of things, I think is something that we need to kind of keep in mind. That, I mean, things like Star Trek that was available decades ago is now just coming into play. So I think looking at pop culture is not a bad thing.
Yeah, you had me at Iron Man. I'm glad you brought up the point about Google Home in the classroom. I have a Google Home in the different classrooms where I work, and yeah, they have just that on a whim. The kids can ask questions and get instant feedback. I love that. Yeah, I like what you said about the using the AR. You talk about the IKEA app, and seeing how your furniture fits in your space before you buy it. That's a real world application that kids need to be able to see, and any way we can implement that, that's huge. To piggyback off that, there's an AR app that I've used in my personal life. I forget the actual name of the app officially, but it's a tailor app where I can use my phone to take my own measurements that are actually better than the real tailor actually came and measured me, and I don't have to go find a tailor. I can do it from my phone and get custom fitted clothes. So that right there, for a student who needs to learn how to dress to impress for that job interview, that right there is so real world application. And so again, I would have to completely agree with you on the possibilities of AR in the classroom, how it enhances learning and really is real world applications.
Absolutely. Perla, what emerging technologies are you excited about?
Artificial intelligence plus robotics. I mean, I know that robotics have been there for a while, but I think that we are still developing best practices to integrate it with subject areas classes. But I have seen how my students have changed their mind by taking time to analyze what is happening in the robot and then trying to figure out what is next if they change a piece or if they move a variable, and then reflecting what could happen in the future if computers could be able to make decisions, or if they will be, and they are already capable of learning from a pure process and create new processes. So think about Bitcoins and online machines delivering medical suggestions, or asking for what is the best place to visit in each different time of the year. So there are some people creating, but at the end is technology evolving based on our necessities and our ideas, creating what doesn't exist yet. So sharing that idea with our students that they could be the next innovator, that in their mind could be the next technological step for humanity, and let them believe that maybe today they are just changing one gear in the robot and taking evidence of why the robot is not working, or showing in the video how it works, is a small step to go to that side, that being the next innovator.
Excellent. That is definitely inspiring. And let's close out with Michael. What are you excited about? What emerging tech tools are you excited about?
I mean, I'm gonna go with AI as well, because I think, you know, there's all this talk, I don't know, in New Zealand especially, about personalizing learning, and I think we're only beginning to scratch the surface of what we actually can do and how we can change our role as educators. I know Khan Academy has been around for a while, but it's, you know, I always make the claim that it can differentiate the children's maths, like what they need to learn, way better than any human could. And that's, you know, years before like AI has got to the point where it is right now. Is why can't most of like the knowledge that children need to learn and the skills be done by AI, and then we as educators are that person who helps them go learn these big concepts or make these connections to real world problems. And I think, you know, that AI can free us up to actually do what, you know, we all want to do as educators, which is to, you know, build each of these children up, be their kind of advisor on this journey, instead of like, okay, 1 + 1 is 2. And I feel like if a computer can do your job, it should. And we need to it helps us adapt and be better educators, I think. So I'm excited to see what's coming along the pipeline with AI. I know one of the innovators that I worked with at the Sydney 19 Academy was trying to find a way of how to take some mundane teacher tasks like doing running records and checking children's reading levels and just completely automating that. And to me, that one thing would be revolutionary. It would free up so much teaching time. Yeah, that's only a small part of what I think is ultimately possible in the long run.
Well, thank you so much. I'm excited and motivated listening to all of you. I want to thank every single one of our panelists. And I want to thank anyone who's watching this. Go ahead and definitely connect with all of our panelists. All are on Twitter. Look for them on other social media channels, and certainly view other conversations on ceduad.com. And we look forward to connecting. Thanks again to all of the panelists, and everyone have a wonderful, inspiring day.
All right. Good to see you guys.
Just a quick little thing before you all go. This will be on YouTube. Vladka suggests 2 days. I'll see what I can do. And I'll pass it on Twitter as well to all of you. I thought that the new idea going forward is to make each of the videos one question rather than having an hour-long video to watch. You can see snippets of that, and rather than see the one you want to look at. I'll let you know too, next month in August, we'll be looking at GDPR. So please, again, you can join us. I think this the fourth Saturday because the host is not available the third Saturday of this month coming up. You're more than welcome to come back and chat with us then about that. It has been fantastic having you. Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks. Happy Saturday.
Thanks.
Yep. See you guys.